rap. Now I make music at least 5,000 a track. Schedules can let dust in the show. I go in my computer and reinvent myself.
So watch your back, to pull out the dagger. I move too fast, coming up the ladder. Greedy and need, but I'm destined to change it. I made it, now I'm blessed. The next generation.
I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high. We keep on winning. I'm living my expectations. This is my presentation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. I'm extraordinary, yeah, so ordinary. I live my life to the fullest, why they wanna take it from me. I feel those dark and lonely nights.
Finally, I can see, I can breathe, I believe. I was angry alone, I'm happy and cold, dragging my soul, agony rolls.
My mind has y'all, I foresee the future, they ask for this gift. I see all these spirits every time that I look in the sky. And only intervention in front of my eyes, for
I
real.
will swallow my problems, roll in the haze, smoke them away. Hoping today will just go away. Holding my faith, no, I won't let go till you open the
This is for
gates.
the youngsters, in the beginning of the future, you ain't gotta be a thug or a hustler. I leave an invitation, so you can enter with me into the I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high. We keep on winning. I'm living my expectations. This is my presentation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. I'm extraordinary, yeah, so ordinary. I live my life to the fullest, why they wanna take it from me. I feel those dark and lonely nights.
Purchase your track today.
This is for my young people. Big Bill, Picasso. I used to sell crack in the trap. Now I make music at least 5,000 a track. Schedules can let dust in the show. I go in my computer and reinvent
I
myself.
used to watch your back, to pull out the dagger. I move too fast, coming up the ladder. Greedy and need, but I'm destined to change it. I made it, now I'm blessed. The next generation.
I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high.
Purchase your
We keep on winning. I'm living my expectations. This is my presentation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. I'm extraordinary, yeah, so ordinary. I live my life to the fullest, why they wanna take it from me. I feel those dark and lonely nights. This is
Finally, I can see, I can breathe, I believe. I was angry alone, unhappy and cold, dragging my soul, agony rolls.
my mind has y'all, I foresee the future, they ask for this gift. I see
smoke them away. Hoping today will just go away. Holding my faith, no, I won't let go till you open the
This is
gates.
for the youngsters, in the beginning of the future, you ain't gotta be a thug of a hustler. I leave an invitation so you can enter with me into the nation. I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high.
Purchase your
We keep on with it. I'm living my expectation. This is my presentation to the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation.
control me. Seeking freedom inside of me. Inside of me, yeah. I'm looking freedom inside of me. Inside of me.
Sound check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. Hello, hello, test, test. Okay. Hello, check, check 1 2. Test 1 2 1 2. Okay, I guess we are live. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. As you can see, we do our best to see if we can remain punctual with it. And today, as you know, we are on time as well as on the clock. At time we may need to disregard one for a few, but you know, pay reverence to what is, or the the all, which is time itself, from which the clock come from. So what it is, it's a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Everyone is at home and doing their best to cope with having time for themselves. But we have to remember it's about the positive side. You see, focus on the positive, not because we should disregard everything else, but because unless we focus on the positive, where will we find the energy, to keep on and stuff like this, and keep on living, keep on helping, keep on sharing the world. You see what I'm saying? So that's why today we said, okay, we wanted to play uh, like a replay, a recording of the last time we used time instead of the clock. I believe it was episode 10.2 or 10.1 or something like this. I can't recall at the moment because we are moving fast, and we're trying to respect time or something like this, so we do not lag behind. So what it is many microphones may not be showing. I don't know why. They show that they are not. Give me one quick second, my people. We want to make sure that everything is though we know that it's coming through, but for some reason it's not. Okay, this is what it should be. Uh, okay, so we take this one, we do that, and then that. We can have all sorts of mics going on. Okay, the first is supposed to be. Okay, let's see. Let us see. Okay, okay. It was all a dream. I used to read paper magazine. Okay, we have default and we have built-in in case. And this one is to be that. It should be up and right. Okay, so let's say yes. Let's say yes, and then let's see. Okay, microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Microphone check. All right, you do that. So hopefully all is well. Okay, I believe we are lagging on YouTube for the moment, but I hope it's coming through immaculately, properly. So we hope. All right. So because sometimes it shows like on the system itself that it's not coming, but on YouTube everyone is seeing it properly. So let us hope this is what's going on. Though at time we try our best. Okay, it says YouTube is not receiving enough videos and stuff like that. Alright, so it's coming through to us. We are having image. So it should be okay. Alright. Yes, we wanna check and see. Okay, sure. If it's coming through, there's no need to add more mics. Let's just leave it as it is and be grateful for, for being, having sound. You see, many microphones may, interfere or whatever. So, of course, we can continue. Thank you guys for your patience. This is your brother Vlad coming at you with the Vlad and Brett L podcast. Short for, V podcast or something. So what it is, it's yes, as day zero, Sunday, day zero, we found it very important that we continue the beautiful energies, the words, and the beautiful intentions and actions, whatever we are doing, building a new week, you see. And what else would be better to speak about than I'll try to speak a little louder in case so I can override the noises in the background on the outside because I'm close to a window and many sounds may come, but of course do not lose yourself into the background of sounds and just stay focused on the voice that matters. You see what I mean? Which is the host. I'm not a virus host. But I am a host nonetheless. So what it is that we say again, welcome. And before we do anything, let us give reverence and gratitude to our ancestors who have guided us up to this point. And the more we rise, the more we move forward, the more we get to rely on them, the more we get to trust in them, which is the title for the last episode 10.3, I believe, trust, which is a prerequisite for love, the foundation of a world, or something like that. So we trust the ancestors. At time, to tell you the truth, we lose trust, we lose faith. We even hate, we curse, we do all sorts of things. You see what I mean? but except that it will return to us because there's no, one and the other. There's only one. So whatever we do to the ancestors only reflect back on us or something like that. That's why we had to learn things the way they are, not how we wish they were. You see. So what it is, it's like we realize that we can trust them, as the brother Sevan would say. The ancestors, having not been among us physically, they are not in the past. Instead, they are in the future because everything is frequency, vibration, or whatever. Like even Brother Tesla would say. So they are on a higher vibration, on a higher frequency, and that frequency is that which only imagination can bring. You see, the future or something like that. So what it is to them, we say thank you for everything, and also for their patience with us, because we have been, stupid, retarded, dumb, as dumb as we could. Yet they have remained patient with us and understanding, compassionate, and until every time we doubt them, you see, they understand where we're coming from, and instead of say "f you," they just stay quiet and let our monkey minds run amok. And then once we find that nothing comes out of that, and we chill our little asses, and then they now speak. And then when they speak, we expect them to say something different that we're gonna agree with. Instead, they just continue the same word, like the same thing. They repeat it because nothing will ever change from their mouths unless we already got the lessons from it. You see what I mean? They will continue to repeat it. We will fight it. They will say it again. We fight it. They'll say it again. We fight it. They'll say it again. We fight it. They say it again. We fight it. And then they will say it again. And then we'll fight it again. And then after that, they will say it again. And then we may fight it again. But if we do not fight it, then they'll say something else. You see what I mean? So we do ourselves a favor when we just, stay still, listen, trust. But of course, we cannot say trust everything, but except that we have already have had trust for ourselves. Because anything we have to trust that we think may be on the outside, it has to come from the trust within. You see, everything is a reflection, and which is why we, not to be arrogant, we wanted to change the narratives, change the literature. Like the great Noble Drew Ali would say, you have to change the literature. And the great Einstein would say, change the mindset, you see. So if we've been saying windows to the soul, and this it turned us into peeping tom, though it may have worked for that time, you see, so that we can see whatever, you see. We don't need to go over that because that can take that like volumes of book can be written, which is why, you see, I even think twice about the book situation, writing books and whatever. And then even if they are already written, but to publish them, especially if with these times, you see, it's the video and visuals, have a greater impact and a faster impact than sitting with a book. Like if many people are like me, every time I open a book, the next thing is you're gonna hear is a snore. You see what I mean? It takes a great, I don't know what type, like to keep me up reading something. You see what I mean? So that's why, knowing self, which is why I don't really, feel that, you see what I'm saying? It's like I don't feel like, the books may serve as much because, as you see, money is changing and stuff like that, becoming, no longer paperback. Though we understand that, we didn't need to change money, but it's only the way we see money that needed to change, the mindset. Because you can change the tool, but if the mindsets are the same, then there's really no change in reality. You see what I'm saying? So what it is, it's like we realize it's not about keeping the dollar because we understand what how it works now or whatever. But we had to see the big picture, the full picture, which is okay, no longer need to cut trees in order to create paper dollars around the world. And then so that we may buy trees with the dollar for our homes and stuff like this. It was a very stupid way of being, you know. It's dumb. It's like it shows that we were really asleep. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. The best thing is to admit where you were or where you are or something like that. It's not to pretend that okay, I was never asleep or blah blah blah, but to admit it. You see what I'm saying? Admit you were asleep. You know, maybe you may not have been asleep like to the degree of everyone else because some people sleep with their eyes open, some people sleep with one eye open, some people's eyes may be open, but the bigger eyes stay. I mean, eyes closed, but the bigger or better eye is still active and open. You see, that's why some people they may be deeply asleep. The best thing we're gonna do with ourselves is to find out what's going on, and then which is something that should have been done long time ago, but we realize many people are still on that frequency. So of course we're not gonna say it is wrong because of course so long as you know they are there, there's gonna be listeners, there's gonna be people that need that. So that's why the best we can do is to just let it be and focus on ourselves, you see. Because as we are in the same room, under the same sky or something like that, does not mean we are on the same time length or time waves or whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? And I'm so happy that most of us can understand that by now. So the thing is like basically it's somehow you see it's we like we said we realize that you know many things happening. Many people are doing their own understanding and sharing their own perspective, which is what it's supposed to be about. Because each of us is an eye in the head of God. You see what I mean? We see things from a different angle. And no one is to say that your angle is wrong, blah, 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 except that you understand the whole thing. You see what I mean? If you understand, then you may see something. But the more you understand, the less you realize that it's not about right, wrong, whatever. Everything is for a reason. You see what I mean? And this is why we seek not to be sounding childish, you know, or blaming or doing all of these things, which is what we're here today to talk about. What do we need to do moving forward or something like that? You see what I mean? Should we focus on blaming? Should we focus on punishing? Should we focus on all of the things that you know many of us are telling our followers out there today? You see, but of course, like we say, do not see it as a right or wrong, except that we are, you know, brainstorming, thinking about it, giving our own perspective, which is why our breath is for at this time. You see, the best way we can breathe, you know, and not waste this breath is by sharing our own perspective, because this is what that you know those eyes are for, to see it from your own angle. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes, depending on where people is looking at, they may miss something, and only then, you know, by listening to each other, that we may see the whole thing. You see, and sometimes I may be going on for 5 hours, as you know, what I mean, and the only thing somebody may get out of that is 1 second or one word. You see, patience is a virtue. You need that. You see, something like that. But it's different for everyone. But that's why you find me listening to a lot of people everywhere, different podcasts that I deem worthy or some of my time and energy. And but of course, if you don't know what is important for you by knowing your own self, then you will won't know. You will not know who to listen to and who to pay attention to. When you do not know, and then you pay attention to something you shouldn't have, then that time may never be gotten back, because once time is gone, it is gone. You see, there's no refund on that one. You see, so that's why it's so important to find your niche, find your voice in yourself, so that you can see the reflection when it staring at you or something like that. Otherwise, how would you know? You feel me? So that's what it is, guys, and The thing is somehow is um, it's what would I say? There should be this here. All right. So the thing is somehow it's literally uh, you see there is like we were trying to say there is something there's before we continue let us play this snippet of the movie which we mentioned because it is a very important piece that we should pay attention to because these movies like recent in the recent years about 10 years 15 years ago I used to um, like not I mean yeah less than 15 I believe so those the less than 15 or something um, so what it is the I used to tell friends and when we're chilling and talking about things because your brother always like to talk about like thing unseen and whatever I mean thinking for self or something like that. So that's why it's so hard to have friends when you are on that type of mindset because most of them, most friends or most people, they will go with what the eyes see, like sports and whatever the media or whatever is putting their energy to. That's all they may see, you see. But it's not right or wrong. This is just what it is. But at time we realize, okay, there's more to it than what we are we are um, placing we are placed to see or whatever. I'm trying to paint the picture with the words, see, or something like that. So what it is, it's like the friends would say, even those who are on the wavelength to talk about the unseen or the metaphysical aspect of things. So what it is, they will always laugh and doubt that, oh, when I say one night, you see, I remember we were in the car chilling and blazing and having fun and stuff like that after prayers or whatever it is. So what it is, it's just like I would tell them that okay, you can learn a lot from movies and stuff like this, and then because in my eyes, since I'm not the type to follow the masses and stuff like this, and I see things for my own self, so what it is, that's how I saw it. I saw, okay, movies tell truth, news tell lies. That was my perspective. But of course, I doubt myself because I felt like I stood alone, something like this in this. You see what I mean? Because it used to be laughed at, that statement used to be laughed at and ridiculed and stuff like this to the point where I'm like, maybe the news, whatever. And then I started watching the news, but I had to trust myself and forget that and just be like, okay, because if I'm feeling this way, I may be stupid, but what if I'm not? You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, basically, that's why now they see it and then I hope they understand that it was all for their own good or whatever, and I hope they may understand this they you see, so that they see that some of us are always trying to guide and help one another or something like that. So with that being said, I want to share with you before we move forward um, this snippet of the movie Infinity War, The Avengers, or something like this. Shout out to the producers. Shout out to the actors. The great cast, indeed. You see, powerful cast. And shout out to even the extras of the movie, the cameramen. The directors. The up to the casting directors and I mean those you see I mean it's it takes a great team to make one movie as great as this one, of course. So the thing is like basically one little piece, like I say, may serve the time because you have to recognize the time so that you know what served the time. And then as recognizing the time from my own perspective, I realize that the piece that we need to understand in this movie is where Doctor Strange, this time I do not forget, uh, Doctor Strange, hold on, let me make sure I bring it to it. Right, because there's so much shared on this, so I want to make sure it's the right one. So much, people decoding these movies. It's something I do with my spare time too, like listen to the decoders of the movies or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So, okay, 1 second. Commercial is being played, and I hope it comes through because the way the system is set up. I'm not sure if you will be able to hear the sound or something like that. No, but let us try nonetheless. Anyway, I mean, all right. So I know it's gonna be a bit slow, as it is faster on my end than it would be on, on the other side. So I'm trying to see if we can understand. You see, and see from a different perspective, from our own perspective and those that may be listening. Okay. Even needs slow. All right. Okay. So let's see. So already for YouTube it is coming properly, but not as we have point of seeing how we're doing. It's not showing that we're doing well. But thank God, try to read what's being said because it's showing, uh, you know, the caption. Okay. Uh, we wanna see how it's coming. We wanna see. We're gonna start this over so we can hear. Okay. We just wanna make sure that you hear it. Okay. We're gonna go back and play again, right? The sound is pretty loud now. We make sure we put the mic where it should, and once more we play the piece. All right. So you heard, you were loud and clear. So I hope you hear it. But if you don't, then we will make sure to share this in the for those who did not see the movie or something. We will make sure to share it so that you may see for yourself because that's a part to ponder upon. Take your time listen to it over and over, and then see what comes up in your mind, because it is a very, 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 very important part. You see what I'm saying? It is too important even, because there's a lesson to take from this. You see. Um, so what it is now, the number, if I'm not mistaken, is 14,605. Because as he went to into the future and stuff like this to see all the possible outcome of the conflict, and conflict is meaning, you can say the word conflict. Let's take it as the birthing of a new earth or something like this. So what's gonna bring the best outcome? The best child, which is the new earth. You see, the child that is healthy. Holy and whatever. So it's only one, which is always the case. You see what I mean? Like for everyone who exists and thinking for themselves, we present a new way, a new perspective. It all depends on how much they understand and where they are looking from. Different factors. You see what I'm saying? So, meaning we know there's billions of people, but who's to say all billions of us are awake or are thinking or thinkers or are here to even help, except that maybe they may be here to help the helpers or something. You see, there's life is a bit complicated. You see, it may be complicated depending on where you're looking from. You see, if you are led by heart, it is made simple. If you're led by the mind, then the mind ways of seeing things. He has to break it down into pieces, and then as it's breaking it down to pieces and making it smaller, dividing it further, therefore it will take it more time to understand each of these pieces that it break down. And then time in the meantime is just moving forward. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important to go with with what can bring the quantum effect into play. You see, when you are seeking to understand or something like that. So what it is said, by Dr. Strange, that when he's asked, okay, I went into the future to see how many you know you know outcomes there are. Okay, 14,605 different outcomes. And they ask, okay, how many works? You see, because if you are asking question, it takes certain level of understanding and wisdom and power of the mind to even raise questions. Because most people will be under the illusion that if you ask question, then it shows you don't know something. It's like, then if you are under that illusion, then it shows that you really don't know anything about yourself or your world. Why? Because it is the question. Sometimes don't you see how it is now? How it has been? Like it anything or something like that. Anything. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Oh, Sean, my bad. I turned it off and turned it on by mistake again. Yeah, I'll take care of it, Sean. All right. Yeah, I was wrong with that. Oh, my bad, Sean. I'm the one that put it there. It's for you and Joy to the you dare you and you trying to tell me. I already ate, Papa. Yeah. Yeah, I'm there. I got something. But I just left it for a minute. But we took care of it. Of course. Okay. All right, I got it. Okay. No, no, no. Okay. Uh, yes. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for holding. So what it is? It's where were we? It's like um where were we? It's yeah, we were talking about the outcomes or something like this. So we played this. It's because everything that is, there's no need to know everything really, except that you are, because there's so much to know in life. You see what I'm saying? You have to prioritize. Okay, what can serve the moment? You see, the now or something. Like in this movie, that's why most time people may think, oh, I'm wasting time watching, but nah, there's a lot you can take away from anything. You see, everything has a piece of something in it that may serve. You see, so it's all about the user of the tool. You see, that's why it's so important to be centered. You know how they used to say, "Don't be too self-centered." That's something that's a sin of myself. I used to live like, and I always used to fight that. Like I feel like when they describe what self-centered means, it sounds like myself because I really never focus on anyone. I always focus on myself. It's like I lived in the world as though I'm the only one that exists, to tell you the truth. The only time I focus on the other is when I'm asking them a question that I hear them say something and it gets my attention or my curiosity. And then I'm seeking guidance or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, I may not trust myself and then I go outside asking questions, being the student. You see what I'm saying? But in reality, when it comes to judging, I always judge myself. When it comes to let's say there's something to be done, instead of blaming others or tell others they should, I just do it myself. Let's say I have roommates at times. You'd say in my place, sometimes I have roommates that live in it in the past when I was younger. I always live, alone and stuff like that. So when I used to be alone, and then sometimes let's say a friend is going through something, and I have them in, or rent it to some other people to make the rent a little less, or whatever the situation. If there is cleaning, I will not be the one to complain or whatever. I may say, yo, please keep clean. But if there is something to clean, trust me, I'll just make sure to do it. Because if you like clean places, then you have to clean. So that's what it is. It's just the way I do things, but that's what most people will be. Nobody can be like you, blah, 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 blah. But there's only one true way, one best way. So when we say we should be like this, doesn't mean you're gonna lose your individuality, but you're gonna have to have certain qualities, that should be instilled within all of us. You see what I mean? Like cleanliness, like respect, it's mutual respect, like mindfulness, and certain things like this. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's something. It's not about being like someone else. It's just things that should be within all of us. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's hard to talk to people without having to hurt them, because really, if they don't know themselves, the more they don't know themselves, the more they will feel hurt because they're not seeing it from the center, and then they are seeing it from a separate tism mindset or whatever. So that's why the understanding and compassion comes in, because you have to understand where they come from, because within you is the same one. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, basically, as they say, one way, there's never all way leads to wrong, or all way leads to self, but there's one self. You see what I'm saying? There's not many. So the thing is, like, basically, as you take the way you want to take, but it has to be going towards the center, towards self. It could be the good or the reward, as well as the punishment or or the blame. You see what I mean? It cannot be you accept the good and then reject the bad, so called. You see what I'm saying? So, of course, we will do that. The more we do not understand the reality, the more we're gonna feel like this is the thing to do. You see what I mean? That's what we have to understand. That we get it. You see, that's what's gonna happen. That's what even those who know better expect out of most people. You see what I'm saying? But is it the way forward? Is it the way that's gonna work for us? Yes or no? You see what I'm saying? So that's why we're here to brainstorm. We're not here to tell you what to do or what to think or whatever, how to live your life. You see what I'm saying? but except that we are thinking together and then trying to unblock each other's minds and stuff like this so that we can find the proper solution. And it's not based on one finding it, it's seeing everyone seeing it the same way. Because why? It's not about, oh, my way is that. You know, that's that monkey situation that we have to leave behind because there's not, oh, my way nonsense. The same way there may be a truth and the truth, there's also a way and the way. And a way is gonna go, it cannot work unless it is in alignment with the way. Just like a truth may not be unless it is in alignment with the truth, one way or another. Because when you see one angle of the sun, it doesn't mean it's separate from the sun. Many angles, one sun. You feel me? So that's how we have to understand the reality, you see? And then this is why we prepared people for, or the lovers or those who listen to us from the get-go, or from the start. We always was thinking about whether they understood what we were talking about. Sometimes I don't know. Most people will be like, "What is this guy talking about?" Yo, how about you focus on your money? But why? Because they cannot understand the time. They can't understand what's to be said, or if it is said, what to listen to. You see what I mean? That's what the compassion is about. Understanding, which is the definition of love. You can even say there can never be love without understanding. You see what I mean? But since we understand them, then we love them, regardless of what they say or whatever. Or but how could they love us if they do not understand us? You see, so that's why self-love is so important. Because if you cannot get it from the outside, then you have to be enough from the center. You see what I'm saying? It must be overflowing or something like that. So the thing is like it's just we used to say things like adults and child and stuff like this. So in this time, it's playing out. Meaning when there's a danger, a problem, or we're not at ease as a species, or as a planet, or plane, or whatever, or dimension, however you want to put it. So who to listen to, what to do? You see what I'm saying? So that's when now those moments is not bad. It's only forcing us to see what matters most, or something like that, whether it is a voice, whether it is whatever. You see what I'm saying? So now when we say child and this and that, at that moment we were really ahead, but on time. You see, but because being on time, because time is one or something past, present, and future, meaning we talking to you according to what's to come. You see what I mean? Meaning you have to be able to discern a child among us and an adult, and then we have to explain to each other that not to see it from a literal meaning, because a child may be older in mindset than an adult. That's why it's a mistake to keep seeing the surface all the time. You see, you have to see deeper than the surface. Because even in my own family, when I was like about a teenager, and I used to tell because if my uncles or whatever come to me, or anyone older than me come and explain their life to me, I'm not gonna take it in a way that, okay, this is a piece of privacy, so I'm the rumor runner or whatever, CNN, I am CNN, or go spread that rumor or whatever. I'm listening, expecting that you are telling me only to find solutions to what you're going through. And if you come to me, then I see myself as the one that you expect to give you an answer. So I think in myself and then give an answer. But most of the time, if it makes sense, the more sense it makes, the more they challenge it, because they're like, how would you know? It's like, how old are you? Whatever. You see what I mean? It's not about age. And then they may fail to listen. Some may listen and some may not, because they say it's too young or she's too young. Even when in my last relationship, you see, when I used to give advice about children to fathers and mothers, they used to say, do you have children? You see? And stuff like this. And this is what we're about to clear today, you see? Because I didn't have children at that time doesn't mean I don't have the Father within, you see? That's the thing. Once you know yourself, you are centered or something like this, then of course, anything that you are in time, whether future, present, past, it all exists within the same being. You just got to tap in outside of time. You see what I'm saying? That's all. So now, how can I explain this at that time, the outside of time thing, without sounding like a lunatic or something like this? I had to just take the ridicule. Oh yeah, it's true. You never have children, meaning you know how it is, because you had to understand. Because really, is an experience the best teacher? You feel me? So you had to be compassionate, understanding, like, because it is true. You have not had the experience, but the best I could say for myself is that I hear, I've had people raising children around me, but that's not really what I want to say. But that's the only thing I must say for this time. That's why I so love this time that I'm living, because most people now are aware, you see, of more than usual or something like that. But the thing is, like, is it, you see, the children now among us, we need to understand the child, you see, because we have to understand it within ourselves so that we may understand it outside of ourselves. But don't think child is about age. A 3-year-old may teach you something that a 50-year-old cannot teach you. You see what I mean? And a 50-year-old may do something worse than a 1-year-old or whatever. Because mindset, really, the skin is really nothing. Of course, the skin will grow, the bones grow automatically, but it's not the same for the mind. You see, the mind, it requires certain type of work and stuff like this in order for it to grow. If it's not automatic, it's not just gonna know and understand things. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's gonna understand certain survival issues, like not to touch the fire because I touched it before and I got burned. Not to jump in the ocean or the swimming pool if you don't know how to swim because you drowned before. Like certain things, you will learn like based on survival. But when it comes to leading and knowing or something like this, it's a different degree of experience. You have to first know you don't know and after that want to know something. You see what I mean? And there's nothing to know but yourself. The minute that you know yourself, then there's nothing else to know. Then you can never truly know yourself. You see, it's like saying I know the whole universe. You see, it's retarded in itself. You see, it sounds retarded even to say you know the whole universe when you are on a planet. You know, it's like 70% of it you don't even know, and that's your planet. You see what I'm saying? So how could you know you know the whole universe when one dust within the universe you have yet to know? You see, that's the thing. Reality. When we listen, we have to stick to reality. What the actuality. You see, and things. Don't be too dreamy about it. You see, and because it's already your dream in itself. So why would you be dreamy about the dream? You have to focus on the reality. You see what I'm saying? And that's why in these times, how would you recognize a child? The one, it's not the one that's making jokes or not. Because of course, all that matters, it all serves a purpose. Even the child to in adult age or young age serves a purpose, you see. All of it serves a purpose. Nothing is to be thrown away or to be punished or whatever it is, which is what we're trying to talk to about today. But how would we get you on board in understanding if we do not continue to spend our money and our time towards giving you the mindset where we stand or something like that, but hoping and trusting that the universe shall return that in multitude as it does all the time. You see what I mean? But we don't focus on getting it, but we know. Not we don't expect it because oh love don't expect. No. Love expect everything to follow the law. That's an expectation. And then what it is, it's like the law is, with reciprocity. That's why when we say certain things, we do may sound smart to some, but really to the reality, we do not sound smart at all. You see, because there is an expectation. There is when anything that gives must be received. Must be received. Or some would say, no, you don't have to receive. No, no, no. Must be received by the one who needs it. You feel me? That it is said. Just because it's not your prerogative, it's not your position, doesn't mean it's not someone else's position. You feel me? That's why it's so hard, to anyway. So what it is somehow we before we lose ourselves, because this topic today is very important, and this is the part of the birthing. You see, because like we were telling in the past episodes that nothing, the planets, they do not move without us. Nothing happens without us. We are the center of it. We are the projectors. You see, we are the one to create it. We are the hell. We are the paradise. We are this. We are that. And of course, I hear many leaders as I do all day. You see, listening. I may take a few hours of the day to speak, but you best if there's 24 hours in the day, I may take five of it to speak my mind and give my perspective, which is what every one of us is supposed to do. And this is why we say we will help anyone who want to have a YouTube channel. But of course, we will focus on those we deem worthy, of course, and those who give the proper price or whatever on the second hand. Joke. But true. So what it is like it's just where was I with this joke? I forgot. So what it is just it's focusing on things, you see, and I forgot the thought, guys, and that's what happens when you joke too much. Eh? Yeah. So the thing is, somehow it's um, yeah, prioritizing or something like this. It is a new day or something. So I know I yes I listen 5 hours. I may take 5 hours within 24 hours or something like this. But you best believe all of the rest of the hours or something, the 19 whatever left, I listen to others without even speaking my own mind. I just take in what their own perspective and stuff like this. I give 5, 1, 2, 3, 30 minutes or whatever I have, and or even in a sentence. Of course, it could be a second of the time I give for the day, and then I listen for the rest. You see, because I'm not the only one. I'm not the only perspective in existence, and all perspective matters. Whether it serves for the advancement or it serves for the testing of those who are there to lead the advancement. Everything has a purpose. You see, it's not about throw it away. It's bad because it makes us feel bad. It's not about going with the emotions. You see what I'm saying? So what it is just we hear many leaders across the globe, and shout out to the people, in England, the I believe it's the organic courts they call, the world courts or whatever, and those within our own vicinity in America, in the Americas, whether north, south, or central, and the adjoining islands and stuff like this. So everywhere we try to listen, you see, but so far we focus on England, and we also focus on the Americas because we speak English. You see, and maybe French or something, but we have yet to see anything from France or the French-speaking countries or Francophonics, or you see a bit of Spanish, but we do not focus on that, and a bit of Creole, but so far the Creole speakers mostly they are learning how to survive, meaning make money or something like this. So of course we have to make sure to keep them in mind as well, because Haiti has a very important role to play in the world, whether they are ready for it or not. It is unfortunate that their focus is somewhere else, but of course it's what it is. You see what I mean? So long as we're not following masses and stuff like this, we of course are doing something. You see what I mean? So what it is just the thing is, we hear many people speak. We hear their perspective, the blame games and all of these things, running after who's to blame or whatever. So it's not saying that there's no one to blame or whatever, but what we want to see, there's, if we want to make it short. We want to, instead of telling you why you shouldn't blame, we're gonna go with a shorter way. We're gonna say energy, you see, and the mind. Wherever the mind goes, the energy follows. What that means, you have to be careful what you are spending your time and energy on. You see, putting your mind on. Okay, you have a clean slate, a 0 point. You see, so should you take that time and energy and focus on the past, or what happened, who hurt you, or what it is that whatever it is that we do, or should we just say, you know what, let us see how we move forward. Let's take the lesson, because it was done for a lesson. That's why I learned to say thank you to the government, thank you to the cabal, thank you to this, thank you to that, thank you to everyone, because they were serving a purpose. Because if you know who you are, you would know no weapons formed against you shall prosper. Why? And I add, unless if you are the weapon against yourself. Why? Because they all came because of it exists within. It will not be on the outside unless it is within. And this is why you will find the brother whom I revealed, Jay Morrison. He was on a live or something on a show with another brother, and then they were going at it like not seeing eye to eye. Why? Because he was seeing the pain that they went through and understanding. And of course, shout out to Jim Morrison for having this type of understanding, because he's not blaming, but he wants us to remember what happens or whatever. But the other one kept on blaming self, which was also beautiful and powerful, because that's what the blame must be. Let us blame ourselves. You see what I'm saying? They thought they were wrong in the eyes of each other, but from my perspective, they both had a point. You see what I'm saying? Because now that's what it is. Like, to find what works is not to disregard one or the other, but to accept all of it. You see what I mean? And when you, for why you cannot blame anyone, is to know that it takes, something to come to test the waters in order to see what you need to know in order to be the best version of yourself. Something had to come and test you for that. You see what I mean? And then, why would we blame power? Why would we blame, how you call it, leadership or something like that? Like, whether we like the way the word was led or not, but it was leadership. You see, it was, and what is God except the one that do the good and the evil? You see, and then if you are to lead and if evil exists, the best to be is the one you don't. If you don't do the evil part, you disregard the dark part or the evil part of self, whatever. I mean, use your own word. I don't know what evil means, but the thing is, like, you leave it up to someone else to do the evil for you. And when you leave to someone else to do the evil for you, so now it means that you may not be able to control that evil because it is not from you. You only have control over yourself. That's why it is important for any leader or whatever to be the all for its followers or whatever. That's why, as I stand for controlled chaos instead of complete chaos, because the universe is chaotic somehow, but it is a controlled chaos. You see what I'm saying? It's not just uncontrolled. You see, it is a harmonious chaos. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. If you a child, you don't understand, of course you're gonna blame, 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 blame. You see, but the best thing is to see what it was teaching you. You see, and then take it and allow it to serve you, the new you. You see, meaning, let's say we were played, for instance, by government, so-called, or whatever. So now we see how we got played, meaning, okay, we trusted too much, and we were just banging each other, and then eating, getting fat, or whatever, or killing each other through gangs and nonsense, or for no reason, fighting in the house, or doing whatever we were doing while the government was trying to maintain all this chaos, you see, or something like this. And then we leave it up to them to do the adult work. So now, who's to say they are human beings? They're gonna fail at some point, because all of us are the government. You see what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. There's one way that works, is the way that you just accept you're wrong in it, you see, and then make sure you learn from it. But the more you are blaming someone else, it's you literally telling yourself that you have nothing to blame, and then continue to be that same sickness that you were. Because trust me, if one is to blame, all is to blame. You see what I mean? It may take you time to admit that, but that's the only way forward. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing. It's just about, accepting everything for what it is and what it served, and then move forward from there. And this is why every word I say is about that. Everything I speak about is about that. Everything I share is about that. Because I realize many of us, we've been saying beautiful things, but not many of us understand these things. They make sense to the mind, who has the capacity to store data and even understand it to the surface. You see what I mean? Like English spoken. So of course you're gonna understand the words, but do you understand the context? You see what I mean? That's important, or if not more. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like basically it's just what it is that we do. We just want to make sure we do not allow ourselves to poop on ourselves or something like this with such a time. You see, like putting our energies on things that may not serve. Of course, we can do whatever we want, but once we do what we want, then we have to also not blame anyone if it does not did not serve or does not work, and pay attention to what the movie says or whatever, blah blah blah, and know what to accept, know what to reject, and all of these things. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like it's not that I am for government, I'm not for blame, or I'm for cabal, I'm for Illuminati, all the nonsense that we talk about. But my thing is like, what's gonna serve me moving forward? I'm not the type to waste my time. So of course I'm gonna only with all the noises and stuff and opinions and whatever you see, I'm only gonna worry about what matters most, the move forward. You see what I mean? How do we lead ourselves forward? You see, how do we bring a better experience or something like this? That question we made, you see? And then once I have the proper question in mind, which did not make me less, it makes me even more, because to have the proper question may be the best thing for the time. You see what I mean? And that question is how do we move forward? You see what I mean? So why would we waste our time blaming? Remember, time will move and time changes. You see what I mean? The minute that you are focusing on blaming, finding whoever to be punishing and whatever it is that we may do, time continues, and then by the time you find them, it's too late. It's like that's another time now. Okay, and then what? You punish, you happy, and then what? What do you have for now? You forget what your priority was, and then now you go with your emotions or whatever. Then this is what it is. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's so important that we do listen to each other. Me, I may not fail to learn from any one of you, whether you say something dumb or smart or whatever. I will learn from it, you see? But the thing is, like, I'm not the only one on the planet. Of course, if I speak, you must pay attention as well, you see? And you must learn from what I'm saying too, whether it's a stupid thing that you learn not to be that stupid, or it is the lesson you needed or something like that. You see what I mean? So the thing is like that's why I don't want people to take me as an enemy or as someone to disregard or someone whose words mean nothing or whatever. So that's why I have to explain myself so much, you see? So why do I take that decision? Because most of the time we disagree with someone and then find out later this is what it was. You see what I mean? And it happens over and over, except that we may not learn from that. You see what I mean? So now we have a clean slate, like everybody's saying. You see what I'm saying? A clean slate, a new point zero, whatever. We can take that time and then go back into the dirt, into the dirty waters, and then try to find whatever to serve our ego or serve our emotions or whatever, thinking we're gonna feel better. But if anyone ever listen to those who go with revenge, after they go for revenge, thinking it's gonna make them feel better, emotions. And then after they take their revenge, they find out they did not feel any better. Maybe perhaps they feel even worse. Because that's not what it's about. It's not about looking for who to blame, looking for who to punish. See why it existed from your own point, from your own center. Because if it exists, there was a purpose for it. You see what I mean? That's why today, if we can be smarter and wiser, it is because of what we're blaming. It is because of what we are blaming. You see what I mean? It served as the mirror so that we can see where we went wrong with ourselves. Nothing is here to destroy you, except that it is here to serve you, whether you see it like this or not, whether you think it's to be punished or not, whether you think it's to be destroyed or not. You see, anything that is to be destroyed will be destroyed without us destroying it. You see, That's why most of the time we think we're in control of something, we lose control of it right away. Just like our children, we may love them, whatever, blah blah blah, and then they grow and slip through our fingers. They have to go and live their own lives. That's why you have to learn from these things that you have control over yourself. That's it. Yes, you may serve others, you may love others, whatever, but the only control should be on yourself. If there is blame, self. If there's punishment, self. You see? You're not stupid for doing that. Instead, you are the smartest, the wisest. You see what I'm saying? That's why we say to all leaders, like I said before, that you see, we have to listen to one another, because if there's a fight and differences of opinion among leaders, then how are we gonna really lead those we lead? You see what I mean? When that's something that should be coming from the followers, not leaders. Any leader, if you are a true leader, everything is you. There's no self in leadership. You shouldn't really focus on yourself, like my opinion is the best or whatever, even if it is. That's why it's so vulnerable. You see, it's so. You see what I'm saying? Because even when you know you're right, you still have to give the time to others to listen. You have to doubt at some point, because the doubt exists, or you have to fear because fear exists. All that is within you. You see, when you say, oh, I'm fearless, doesn't mean I don't have fear. It means that you do not let fear control you. You see, but if fear exists in one, it exists in all. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. That's why the one who knows self can never be fooled, because it is in itself a fool, or the greatest fool. You see what I mean? How could you fool a fool? If you can wet water, you can fool a fool. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. So there's nothing to prove to anyone either, because you can only prove something to those who don't know better, who don't know themselves. But no, those who know themselves don't need you to prove, because you are as loud as you can be in their eyes. You see what I mean? The more you speak, the more they know you. You see what I mean? Or something like that. There's really no need to waste time or something like that. You see what I mean? So to prove self or whatever, you see, that's why my child yesterday, I was having a conversation with her. You see, and then day before, I believe. And then she was like, Dad, you don't need to do anything to impress me. I love you anyway. And I was like, F you. You see what I mean? What do you mean impress? I never did to impress no one. When I got a chance to impress someone, you know what I do? I do the complete opposite. Because the thing is, like, I don't need to show you anything for you to trust in me or whatever. Or contraire, madame. I was the complete opposite. Because, sometimes when you want something so much, you want to force it. But you have to tame yourself from doing that. When you force anything, then that's when you may get what you don't need. You see what I mean? You just like, yeah, this is me, accept it or not. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. And then I say, I'm not impressing you. I'm just showing you what the will of the Father is for you, because I'm the first man, the first husband, the first boyfriend, the first teacher, male teacher, or whatever in your eyes as a daughter or something like this. Of course, there's certain things I must do and make sure you understand about the masculine or something like that. You see what I mean? So what it is, we have this type of conversation, things like this. But why we don't seek to impress is because it doesn't serve anything. You see, we literally are forcing something. Sometimes you have to stay, natural. The best thing, I think Tilson posted something about that, is confidence. I mean, not confidence, but how you call it? Something that we spoke about. We had an episode for it. I forgot what number, but it was authenticity. You see, if you want something, you be authentic, and it shall find you. You see what I mean? Be authentic as much as you can. That's why in this time, that's the only thing that works. You know yourself. That's the first part, and then be yourself. The last part. You see what I'm saying? That's it. Simple. You see what I mean? So the more authentic you are with yourself, then the more you will attract who you are to yourself. You see what I mean? Or something like that. So the thing is like, basically, if someone don't like it, let them not like it. There's someone out there to like it, to even love it. You see? So that's what it is. Just remain your course, do what you're supposed to do. But every voice matters. We're not saying that maybe there's a reason to blame. Maybe I may not see it, but Am I all the perspectives in existence? No. I just don't see that it's priority. But, or if you say that's part of it or something like that, you know what I mean? But let's is what to do first. What to do first. That's what matters. You see what I mean? Should we take the time and then focus on blaming, looking for people to blame and where we may not find or something like this? Because the leaders that really run shit in this reality, you don't even know their names to tell you the truth. You see what I'm saying? So you may blame someone thinking you got it, and then you really, they have money to get the next one. You see, or now that we can manipulate DNA, we may create the next one. Even you see what I'm saying? So that's why you have to understand the weakness that we have, and understand also the strength that we have. Because if you do not understand the strength itself becomes a weakness. If you do not understand the gift, which is the now, then the gift becomes a curse. You see? So that's what it is. It's not one or the other, it is one in the same. You see what I'm saying? The God is one in the same with its devil, lower and higher self. And we hear that even people say that, okay, there's no lower, no higher, which is true. But it is not all truth, but the truth that serves us now is the lower and higher, because that's where the mind is. It's not a wrong in reality, it is true to some degree, you see. The and devil, if they exist in the same room, let's say, but of course, the janitor, which would be the devil, will be in the basement, and then the CEO, which is the owner or whatever, the leader of the company, will be in the penthouse. You see what I'm saying? The higher and the lower. This is reality. You see what I mean? And it served the moment. You see what I mean? That's why it's so important that we, whether we want to do that or not, we have to choose our words wisely, because it's not about truth, it's about what truth that serves now. You see what I mean? What can we say that serves now? Is it a lie in itself? Or is it true to some? You see, matter of perspective. And then when it is a matter of perspective, what do? We go with the positive. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like, most of the time when we say it, yes, it can be said better, but it may not be better for the moment. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's say higher self and lower self. Oh, there's no higher, there's no lower. That's true. But that doesn't serve, because we have to see where we are as a species. You see what I mean? See where we are. Like, and what can we say that can serve? You see? Because when we say not many people can understand that level of things. You see what I mean? Like, oh, no higher, that's where we are now. Higher self, lower self. That's why you will hear many people are saying it. You see? Because that's where they understand. You have to level with everyone. How can we find a common ground? And lower self and higher self serves perfectly for the moment. You see what I mean? Of course, there is higher truth, there's more truth. There will continue to be higher truth and more truth, you see? But remember where we are now. And that's very important, you see? And leaders and stuff like this, like I said, we have to live by example or something, you see? That's why you will find me sharing people. I don't allow anyone to control that. I know it goes with the numbers, but this is my choice to say that it is not about the numbers, and there's a reason behind those words. And then I do certain things that will serve, because you have to know what you are doing. Of course, the masses are doing their own thing, but at some point, some of us have to be strong enough in our center to do it as we see fit. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing, you see? Of course, you will be ridiculed, maybe. You will be blamed, maybe. You will be all of that. But it's blame, ridiculizing, or whatever the words, can never come from the higher self. It will always come from the lower. And the lower may not lead. So if you follow the lower perspective, then it shows that you don't even know what to do with yourself. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. The thing is like, basically, is just we just gotta, we see the time, understand the time, and move with the time. You see. So I come with this message to level with any leader around the world, to see that we hear you, we understand where you're coming from, except that we're not against what you are saying fully. except that we want you to prioritize or to think about prioritization to see, okay, is it, we have the time and we may never have it again for the time being. Because once you lose it, then it's gone, you see? So, what do we focus on? Should we go around blaming, looking for who to punish or whatever? When in reality, everything was here to serve us. You see what I mean? Everything, whether good or bad, it's just there to serve. You see what I mean? Help in the evolution. You see? Because whatever is not even will. Like Muji and the great ones, Sadhguru, and the grandfather figures among us. You see what I mean? Those who know better. They will tell you whatever you did, you didn't do. You see what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but it's true. You see, so it's only there because you needed it. You see what I mean? Like you couldn't lead yourself, obviously. You see what I mean? So someone else had to be there to lead you. But who's to say if you're not leading yourself that you're gonna like the way you were led? But if someone led you when you couldn't lead yourself, then should you really blame them or should you appreciate that they took in consideration to lead you? You see, to the moment now, alive, breathing, safe, sound. But of course, if you cannot be the evolved one, the mature one in the time where the age added and the new time or whatever, you see what I mean? You see, then by all means, destruction is what must happen somehow. Because you're gonna continue to be toxic, wasting time, wasting energy, wasting this, wasting that, because you are blaming, you are doing all of these type of things which is expected of you. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to get out of the expectation, you see, like what they expect, and do something that no one else expected. You see, oh, we expect the beast, when the beast wake up, it's gonna start going crazy, going amok, destroying everything. So we need to put the chemtrail in the air to tame them so that they can see less and understand less and have less energy or whatever. Because the more energy the beast has, the more destruction it will bring controlled chaos, you see? Because the one who initiated the chaos, it is its job to come to maintain the chaos. You see what I'm saying? So if we don't know better and then we think we have a solution for the chaos when we did not initiate the chaos, or though we did, you see? So now what's gonna happen? It's gonna go out of hand fully and quickly. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. It's about taming your ego, you see, and then come as a child, and then sit down with yourself and understand yourself and see where you are, see how you may serve yourself, and things like this. And as you serve yourself and help yourself, you in turn help the world at large. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So this is to, just like we say, to level up with everyone, to show that when we say things that do not sound like the many, like the masses, we are not trying to be different. We don't even try. You see, that's what it is. We just are saying, from our own perspective, point of view. You see what I'm saying? But of course, we listen to others, obviously. You see what I mean? But the thing is, like, we want you to see that if we say it different, it's because that's what expected of us. You see, that we have to have our own seeing because those eyes are there for a reason. You see, you have to. If you see, then you have to explain. You see, because no one see through your eyes but you. You see what I'm saying? So that's what Jason Mraz would say in his song. You see, and shout out to all the great writers out there. The songwriters and things like this, such as Jason Mraz and U2, Bono of U2, and all those that have been guiding with their music. And I was just not paying attention. Now I'm paying attention and I hear the music of some, and I realize how much guidance is in the music. As I already saw guidance in the movies, but now I see guidance in the music. But before I was only lost in the sound. You see what I mean? But now I hear the words to those that have deemed worthy. You see what I'm saying? So what? But before I even deem them worthy, I have to pay attention first. Listen. You see what I'm saying? To see if it's for the garbage. In my world, of course, it may serve someone else. One man's garbage is another's treasure, of course. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. It's like we simply gotta understand we hear, but it's one world, of course. When we say one world, it's whether we're against that or not. It only means that we are realizing that we are one. You see, that's the illusion, the veil lifted, that the separatism, the taking good, evil, Islam, Christianity, all the, of course, there's people that are still fighting these things because, like we say, the mind does not evolve or grow on its own. It takes work. It's not like the body. You see what I'm saying? So that's gonna continue to be, but let it be, you see. But at the same time, those who evolve and pass that noise, they cannot be acting the same way as the monkeys they left, or something like this. Or should I say the monkey mind, to be respectful, or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. And as leaders, we have to have some sort of togetherness, some sort of mutual respect and stuff like that. You see, because me, when you hear me say monkey this, monkey that, is because it's not me. I'm just stating the fact. You see, that's why I tell to my children, if I can't lie to the children and they're little children, then why would I lie to grown ass folks? You see what I mean? If you don't like being called a monkey, stop putting the costume on. You see what I mean? That's it. You see, I believe it was Dave Chappelle. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. That said that once. How women don't like you to call them prostitute, to take their prostitute on the street. But if a nigga come on the street and then wearing police costume and I need the police, somebody rob me, I'm just gonna go to you because I see you with the costume. But if you are wearing the costume of a prostitute, then of course, you see, something like that. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. Most of the time, we're mad at the one that are stating what they see. You see what I mean? Telling them to lie to themselves or something like that. But in reality, the only power we have is to take off the costume that's making them think we are the monkey. You see what I'm saying? That's the only thing. Because when you cannot control what's outside of you, the best thing you have to do is to control what's inside of you. You see what I mean? So that's the thing. So we find it very necessary to speak on that, giving our perspective and our guidance, and because we listen to the ancestors, you see, and we listen to them, and this is what they have told me myself. Like, okay, you cannot be blaming, you cannot be doing all of these things. They serve. You see, everything is there to serve you. You see, you may not like it, but that's what you needed. You see, because transformation requires a lot of trials, tribulations, fire, and whoever come to serve as that fire and tribulation, is not your job to waste time and then go blame and kill, destroy, or whatever. It's your job to take what you learn from that and then move forward, heal. You see, that's what it is. But of course, you can take the time and waste it on the past, you see, which is a waste, like we said, you see. And this is what we need you to understand. There is one thing you gotta do with yourself in the moment, is to learn from your past and move forward with the lesson. You see what I mean? Anything else may not be right or wrong, but it may be the wrong time. You see what I'm saying? Or something like that. You see what I mean? Because I cannot tell you that you shouldn't blame anyone, because it may not make sense to you where you are in your consciousness. I get it. You see what I'm saying? But the best I can tell you is how to continue your evolution. And in time, you will get to come to your senses and realize that it was the truth. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. So need we say anymore? I'm not sure. But I feel like we have, shared our voice and our perspective on things. And we hope that you don't see us as an enemy, as someone who's different or someone who has a different perspective or whatever. You see what I mean? Except that we bring you onto par or level with us or something, so that you don't think we are enemy or part of the enemy or whatever it is. Because within me there is no enemy except myself or something like that. And I cannot tell you the same, but you have to realize it for yourself. But at the same time, I can advise you that this is what it is. You see, because like I said, let's say you have a home, you are a leader of a nation and stuff like this. If bad exists or needed, there has to be a call of the leaders of that nation. You see what I mean? Yes, some will blame you, just like you see in the movie Black Panther. You see that the king, the father of T'Chaka or something like this, had to answer to certain tough calls that even his own son, the next king, blamed him for. But that was the very necessary thing he had to do at the moment. Because not all the time you're gonna have to do something that everyone gonna agree with, especially those on the lower frequency or something like this, like a child or something. Now you understand a child is not about age. You see what I'm saying? It's about level of consciousness, understanding. You see what I'm saying? So now they blame, but was it the job of the Black Panther to of the time to blame the old one or to learn and understand why that decision had to be made? You see what I mean? So that's the thing. We always will fail ourselves if we are looking to blame someone or hurt someone or whatever, because there's no separation in reality. We cannot hurt or blame without first blame ourselves, whether we know that's what we're doing or not. That's why in the beginning we try to help you understand this, you see, by showing you how when you blame others you end up blaming yourselves. By showing you that, okay, let's say we blame the people, the 1% or the wealthy families that are spraying the sky, so called, or something with chemtrail. But we see these things, we hear the voices, but we couldn't focus on that. Why? Because we realize it takes 99% to drive this plane. The 1% doesn't go and fly them over the sky. It is those that are seeking job, chasing the money, because we tell each other that if you don't have money, you will shake. We tell each other money gives you value. We tell each other money make the world go round. So why would we blame anyone for doing whatever they can to go around with the world? You see what I mean? So that's why it's so important to see it from your own perspective, finding your fault into it. So that once you see that you are to blame, then why would you even worry about anyone else that has blame? You see what I mean? The reason we do that is so that we can clear the waters for ourselves so we may see a better future ahead. But the more we put things on our mind, like things to do, like let's find this, let's find that, let's punish this, let's punish. You see, you want to blame, you blame. Then after you blame, you have to find those you blame. That's time. To blame, it's time. You have to show people who they have to blame, blah, blah, that's time. Time is moving, of course. And then you have to find those next. You see, that you are blaming. That's gonna take time in itself. Time. And then now find them to do something about that and stuff like this, it's another time. So who's to say if it's gonna take 300 years, whatever, because some people know how to hide, some people know how to run. So you don't know how long it's gonna take you to do that. So let's take a step back and think twice about what we're doing so that we can know how to move forward. Because when we're not thinking properly, the worst thing may seem as the best. You see what I mean, or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we do for each other. If we hear the great, we share. If we hear something that may be out of place or something like this, we must also speak on it. Because no one is to blame in here except us. We are the one in charge of ourselves, even if we're not in charge of the world, but we are in charge of a world, and that world is ourselves. You see what I'm saying? So if a world is in charge of itself, then of course together they will create a whole universe that is in harmony with itself. You see what I'm saying? So we just gotta understand things. See? So we thank every leader, for their thoughts, and though many may not be with the same mindset, but we also thank the leaders that are being blamed. And I thank every leader for everything they serve, whether it is good, it is bad, it has served. And without that, I would not be who I am today. Because the thing is like, to know that I have a choice, I have a voice, I have rights, or whatever the hell we say, it took someone to take them away from me. That's why even Tupac, shout out to Tupac, you see, may he travel whole, said that you would not know your strength unless, depending on your strength, was the last choice or the only choice you have. You feel me? So that's why you have to learn how it works. It's like it all comes to serve. You see, it's serving you, whether you like it or not. But of course, matter of perspective, it's important. But if it's childish, then it's gonna continue the chaos. He has to be mature, you see, and maturity comes when you take the blame for yourself, because you're not a leader of a nation if you have anyone else to blame, because the only one to blame is the one leading. You see what I mean? So if you call yourself a leader, then you should blame yourself. Just like in a home, if the house, like let's say the house is burnt, I didn't burn it, but one of the children burned it. So if the fireplace come or police or whatever come, they're not gonna really blame the baby or the children. They literally gonna blame the parents. Oh, I was at home, whatever. Oh, you left your children unattended. How old are they? They can, you can help seeing the your own mistake. You see, I mean, nobody, you may not see your mistake, but people who's thinking like the police and others, they will see you are to blame. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how bad it is, it served. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. So now we can waste the time to blame it, or take the time to learn from it. But if we waste the time to blame it, then who's to say we're not gonna repeat it? Because when it returns, because the lesson is failed, that's the way life is. If you fail to do what you're supposed to do with the time, then the same thing will repeat, except you won't even know you participating in the same thing again, because you don't know anything. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. But it will continue to be until you get it. But if we are blaming, it shows we do not get it. You see what I'm saying? So it's gonna happen again and again until we realize we are to blame. You see what I'm saying? It will happen, and I don't wanna live something like this again. I wanna move on. I want a better world. I want maturity. I want love. I want to be able to be a child if I have to and not worry about anything. You see what I'm saying? But it takes understanding, maturity, and evolution, and whatever it is. So let us focus on that. You see, wherever the mind goes, the energy follows. You see, so let's focus on what we want, not what we do not want. You see what I'm saying? So thank you, everyone, for listening. We don't want to make it too long. We don't know how long we've been here. And anyone who will come or will share this or something like this, if you find it, important or necessary, you see what I'm saying? You share, you do your part. That's the best we can offer or whatever. So the thing is like let them know, to go forward, because I believe there's music that I played in the beginning. You see what I mean? And they may move forward a little bit to the point of the voice or whatever. You see, we thank everyone and learn, even if it's better. You see, learn to thank even those who hurt you, because they were here to teach you a lesson, something like that. It would be either to show you that you were naive, therefore to be more, you know, what's the word? You see what I mean? Whatever. So, or you were naive, you see that, and then you be better, and you were childish, and then, though you may keep the childlike self, but be more mature, and therefore either you were too careless with yourself, now you become more careful. This is the butterfly self, you see, learned. And then how could you blame those who were the catalyst to that change? You see what I'm saying? That's what we're saying. There's, of course, we're gonna continue the chaos if we don't know what matters most. You see what I mean? And we will blame where there shouldn't be a blame. You see what I'm saying? So have fun. Speak your mind. We are listening. We pay attention, and we think, everything that's happening, because it gives us time to ponder, to think for ourselves and things like this. So let's hope that there is a better us on the other side of this. Thank you. Have a wonderful Sunday evening. Enjoy, kiss your partners, and have fun. Enjoy time with your children. And live, love, laugh, learn. And when toxicity comes your way, make sure to sprinkle some love on that shit. Thank you. Have fun. Have a wonderful Sunday evening. Wholeness, balance, and vibration and harmony. Travel well.